What's going on, everyone? It's Mike, it's John, back again following the 1-1 draw away at Leicester yesterday. This is our debrief. And, John, look, I'll go straight on to you, mate. What was your take on the game? You were there, you saw the atmosphere, you saw the fans, you saw the first half, second half. What we saying, mate?
Fans were fantastic as usual, considering what we've been watching lately. First half, I think Everton were the better team. Second half, Leicester probably come into it. Fair result, probably, as I said yesterday on my little clip. What I will say is there was a couple of positives yesterday, and listen, I'm not going to go mad with positivity. There was a couple more positives than what there has been lately. But listen, for me, the negatives still outweigh the positives. 3 times on the run in the last 3 games, the manager's made a substitution, which is being booed by the fans. Again, he took Dyche off. For me, it's fantastic. He's too good for us already. I will say it now, but I said this on the previous videos, Michael. He's an outlet. So when you're under the cosh, wherever he's playing, he's strong for his size and he pushes players off the ball. He's good with the ball at his feet. He wriggles out of situations that not many other players can. So it's an outlet and it takes the pressure off the defence when you've got him on the pitch. But again, he took him off. The positive, I thought Lindstrom had his best game in a blue shirt. I know he hasn't played that many minutes. I get that sub in a way. I said that to you before because he hasn't played much football. Decore, I'm sure he's going colourblind with age because he doesn't find a blue shirt. And again, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I think he has one-on-one. I know the defender was tracking him, but he still, for me, should be hitting the target. You know, he should be hitting the target with a chance like that, straight at the keeper. The Lindstrom one early on in the game, he should be scoring that as well. But I sort of get that one again because he's probably a bit rusty. Listen, Premier League footballers shouldn't be rusty, but he hasn't played many minutes, so I sort of let him off with that. But for me, the manager again lost Everton the 3 points, in my opinion, yesterday with a substitution.
Yeah, I was... My match reaction, right, was a bit... I didn't really know what to say. And it was really difficult, really. That's why it was so short. The match reaction was literally, it was really short yesterday. It wasn't detailed. And it was because I kind of didn't know how I felt. Like I watched that game and I saw us dominate for certainly the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes. You know, we got the goal. We had that first chance with Lindstrom. I think also McNeil had cut in a couple of times and had a couple of sighters. He put one wide. And I just sat there just thinking, we look so much better. But you always know there's frailty at the back. You know, we can be as confident in the world going forward. You know, we've proven that we can go to teams away and at home and with a very limited possession-based game of football. We can impose ourselves and cause problems. You know, we can we can score the goal first. We can be aggressive when we need to be. We can control a game to a degree with very limited possession. And I get that the team has had illness this week, but even prior to that illness, so go back a week, me and you were still talking about how tired this team was. Now, I understand that players have been poorly this week, so I'm never going to dig them out for that, never. But on the flip side of that, I was saying this 2 weeks ago. I was saying it before the international break. Me and you were having phone calls week 1 of the season saying the players look tired. Sean Dyche's pre-season has killed them. They've only travelled 100 miles, yet they're blowing out their arse compared to Spurs, who flew to wherever, you know, did thousands of miles. And it's the manager. It's not the players. I've said this now every week. These group of players are more than good enough to not be in a relegation battle. I'd put my head on the line and say this group of players could potentially challenge for about 10th to about 12th, 14th, somewhere there. They could. But it's the wrong manager, John. And what epitomised it for me yesterday was, yet again, as you rightly just pointed out, it was the 3rd game running where he substitutes the one player that even in the 89th minute has got one moment of magic potentially, that one little bit of spark, that one bit of creativity, and it subs him off again. And the subs, I get he doesn't have many options. I get he doesn't have them, right? And we'll mention this as well. This is your point, so I'm leading you on to this. But we have spent £17 million on Jake O'Brien. We have spent £30 million on Beto. So within 12 months of them two, both summer transfer windows, we have signed both of those players. They were both on the bench. They both don't really play. I feel so sorry for Jake O'Brien because I don't know what he's got to do to get a game at this point. What's the point?
But the thing is, I don't even know if we've made the Beto payment yet, but that's by the by, that it's still £47 million in 12 months or whatever it is, 18 months, where we're not using them players. Now, we all know, listen, we are creating chances. We had 5 shots on target yesterday. We scored from one of them. So, you know, we are getting the ball into the box, Michael, but we're just not taking the chances. Now, if you've got a striker who can score with both feet and his head in that team, instead of wasting 47, I'm not saying we've wasted the £47 million, I'd say we've wasted 30 of it. But put that money together and go out and get a proven goal scorer who will take chances week in, week out, because we haven't got one.
Sorry, John. Or a winger who will score goals. And this isn't a dig at Lindstrom, by the way, because I thought he played well yesterday. But, you know, you've given him the benefit of the doubt about that being a rusty shot. I'm sorry, John, right? I truly believe that most people would score that goal at any level. I don't get what made that chance difficult. And I'm not digging him out because I thought yesterday was his best game. But you've signed a player that made 20 appearances for Napoli and didn't score a goal. On the other side, you've got Dwight McNeil, who probably averages 5 goals a game. And then you've also got Ndiaye, who, by the way, is brilliant, but he scored 4 goals. You mentioned this at the start of the season. Where are the goals coming from? And I look at the team, and I think between the front 3 or 4, there is 20 goals.
Yeah, it's not enough. If Dwight McNeil was scoring 5 goals a game, we'd win the league, by the way. You mean
Sorry,
yeah. But then, you know, our options are... His name's gone on, Jack Harrison. Now, he was shocking when he come on yesterday. And I've said since the day the manager brought him back for a second loan spell that he's not good enough. He's a poor player. Now, he's a championship player for me. He's championship rated at best. But as you quite rightly say, where's the goals coming from? Because Tarkowski, I know Michael Keane got one this season, and he's capable. I play him up front, me personally, but when you look at Tarkowski, doesn't score enough goals for the size of him. So then you've got Jake O'Brien, who's sitting on the bench, who's very capable. We've seen it in pre-season, Michael. I think he got 2. Yeah. Yeah. So you look at it and you think, there's not enough goals in the team with the players he's picking week in, week out. Try and change it. And he's not changing it. What's Jake O'Brien doing wrong in training just to be given a go?
John, like you've just said, he's not changing it. He actually did change it yesterday. He actually did change it. He started Mangala. He didn't start Tim Ibrahim. He started Mangala. He started Lindstrom. He put McNeil behind the striker. You know, he saw them die in Calvert-Lewin. And I looked at that team there and I thought, oof, yeah. And I actually texted you saying that's quite attacking, that team.
It's attacking. But even when it's attacking, we're not going to score enough goals, are we?
But he's prepared. My point is, he's prepared to change the front. He'll change the top half. He'll change that. Defensively, we've conceded 15 goals this season. But it still starts the same 2 centre halves. I mean, it's mind-boggling. We have scored more goals now than we did at this stage last season, if I'm not mistaken, by a considerable amount. I think we'd scored 2 goals or something at this stage. I think this season we've scored, 6, 7?
The other end.
The difference is defensive. The difference is defence. And he's not changing it week in, week out. We go into this. And I'm not digging out Michael Keane, by the way. I'm not even sitting there saying it's his fault, because I think defensively Tarkowski at times, Tarkovsky, whatever, however I say it, has been the weaker of the two. But that means Jake O'Brien starts for one of them. I don't give a shit who it is. I do not care if Michael Keane starts and it's Tarkowski that gets dropped, because neither of them are playing particularly brilliant. And I can't believe yet again yesterday we conceded another goal from another ball into our box that dropped into the the 6-yard box, and we can't defend it. It is appalling. And we said about playing 3 centre halves. Just subscribe to the channel, Dyche. We'll do your job for you, son.
This is what I meant when I say he's not changing it up. I did mean defensively more. Listen, talking about individual players like we were before, I thought Mangala had a good game yesterday. The problem I have, and we spoke about this on here and privately as well, when Mangala come in and he started getting game time, you did say to me, will he start dropping Tim? Now, he took him out the team yesterday. Whether he's got a bit of a bug, I don't know. He hasn't said he has. But that worries me, because I think since Tim's come to the club, he's been fantastic. Not taking nothing away from Mangala. I thought he had a good game yesterday, to be fair. But we worried about this, about taking Tim out of the team. And yesterday he done it. And again, for me, I was miffed with that one.
I agree with you. And it wouldn't have been Mangala. It wouldn't have been Tim that I wouldn't have put in the team. It would have been Decore would have not come in the team for Tim for me. Because I think Tim can do what Decore does, which is win the ball and carry it. But I also think Tim is a better passer of the ball. Because Decore can't pass for shit. He can't pass. Whereas I think Tim is better. So I think if you could get an understanding between Mangala and Tim, I think we're in a much better position going forward. But he didn't do it. He played Decore, and I've seen people on Twitter saying Decore's, the chances he creates and the balls he makes and all of this. But I'm telling you now, mate, the amount of 10-yard passes he does not make, or 15-yard passes, is astounding. It's astounding. So the game, look, talking about the game, yes, positive. It's our first point on the board. We only conceded 1 goal, and we looked like we could have scored a few if the goal scorers had probably been used to scoring goals. But we haven't got any of that. We haven't got used to goal scorers, and we haven't got a manager that will change it defensively, even though that's been our weak point. For me, what it epitomised yesterday, and actually, for anyone that has a doubt, yesterday epitomised that Sean Dyche can set up correctly. He can set up correctly, but not necessarily with the right players. And then the in-game management, the substitutions kill us. And until you get a manager that can look and be proactive, I don't think Everton are going to change.
No, and listen, with the illness that we've got in the club, the apparent illness and the apparent injuries that the manager spoke about, I would have took a point yesterday, because I think I predicted a 3-1 win to Leicester. So I would have took a point, to be fair, with the players that we had missing. But if he plays Tim with Mangala, as you say, and if he puts O'Brien in for either Keane or Tarkowski, as you quite rightly say, which I agree with you, more so Tarkowski, I actually think we got the 3 points yesterday. I really do. And also as well, if he makes the right in-game changes, I think we get the 3 points. So as you quite rightly say, it was on the manager again yesterday for me. Any other manager worth his salt with a better tactical awareness brain makes the right substitutes at the right time with the right players, and this manager isn't doing it, and he's throwing up under the bus week in, week out by taking the better players off, or even leaving them on the bench and not bringing them on, i.e. a Tim or an O'Brien. As you quite rightly say, the setup with the way he had them playing yesterday was probably all right, but for me, it was with the wrong personnel. If he plays the right personnel, we probably get the 3 points yesterday, in my opinion. So it's on him again.
Yeah, I agree. The one thing I will say is I'd like to think that it might have given us as fans a little bit more confidence going into the home games that are coming up. You know, we went away yesterday and got a point. I just feel a little bit better maybe playing Crystal Palace next week, that Everton might get a result, if you get what I mean. You know, I feel a bit better because we got a bit of a result yesterday. I actually wanted to single out one player yesterday because he gets thrown under the bus a lot. And me in particular have been highly critical of him at times, but not because of him, not because of his mentality, not because of his attitude, not because of his work rate, but simply because I don't feel like he should be playing week in, week out at his age, and that was Ashley Young. The ball he played to Endai yesterday was something an experienced footballer would do. He opens his body up to look like he's going cross-field, and he plays a lovely inside pass into Lilliman and Dyche. Don't get me wrong, he still has to beat a player, he still has to score. But I thought Ashley Young yesterday, mentality-wise, and that pass, I thought, I am glad you're in and around the team. I just wish he wasn't playing as much. And it's not a dig at him at all. But
yeah, I mean,
he's got that. He's got this. He's got this. Yeah. He hasn't got the legs.
And this is the thing, Michael. When Ashley Young plays, he gives us all, you know, and for 38, 39-year-olds or whatever he is, you know, he does what he can. But as you quite rightly say, he never shies away. He never goes missing. He never hides from a pass. He's always willing to put his body on the line. And as you quite rightly say, pick that pass out. He's got a footballing brain. It's just that he's at the latter end of his career, and he's still playing week in, week out. And I know people will say, well, he's only playing because of the injuries we've got. I still think this manager would probably play him if we didn't have the injuries and illness we've got.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah. I think that's all. I haven't really got anything else to add from the game. It was, it's weird. Again, we spoke about emotion, didn't we? And it shouldn't be that I'm coming off a 1-1 draw away at Leicester and I'm sitting there going, we go again next week. It should be that we go as if we didn't get 3 points, you know, as if I haven't really got that because we needed to start.
I think the reason why we're both feeling like this is because of the start of the season we've had, and you know, we've sat here and we've said Everton have zapped all the emotion out of us. And listen, it's going to take more than a decent first half performance and a 1-1 draw away at the King Power Stadium for my emotion to be brimming again. It's going to take a lot more than that. And I think that's what we're getting to. It's hard. It's hard because we're not going to stand from the rooftops and shout about yesterday's result. For me, there was a couple of positives, but again, we're still agreeing on there was more negatives than positives. The positive also for me, I know you've got things to do, but we'll finish on this. The first half performance yesterday was a lot more better than what we have been seeing. Even when we went 2-0 up against Villa, that was against the run of play. But if we can take that first half performance yesterday and probably an extra 10% at home to Crystal Palace next week, I think possibly it could be the first 3 points of the season because they're not playing that well. Do you know what I mean? So I think carry on the first half performance. We need to start doing it for 90 minutes. The manager needs to start getting things right to allow us to do it for 90 minutes. And if he can, then hopefully we will start moving up the table. But the problem I have is we can't trust this manager to do that.
No, agreed. Guys, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. We do have a new TikTok as well, so that will be at the start and the end of this video, which is being ran by. Do you want to get off the camera, John? Do you want to get off the second and bring our Frankie on? It's being ran by our Frankie there, Blue Boys Network Frankie there. He's running our Twitter. He's running our TikTok for us. So make sure you subscribe and you like it, and you follow it as well, because he's joining. It was his birthday. It was actually his birthday 2 days ago, but he thoroughly deserves a bit of a shout out there for the work he's doing Little 12-year-old Frankie there, long fringe, horrendous haircut, follows his dad. Hey, Frankie?
At least I'm not ginger.
Brilliant. There you go. So, guys, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, and we will see you soon. John, peace.